Good morning and welcome to Nature Watch. Nature Watch is sponsored by Waddell's Nursery Floral Garden and Bird Center at the corner of 12th Street and Millam Road. And now your host for Nature Watch, he's not late. I was this morning, Gary Miller.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I'm laughing. Joe's making me laugh this morning. He misplaced his cue sheet and he had to grab it real quick.
Yeah. I misplaced a lot of things this morning. This week, my car was broken down all week, so I was stressed out about it. I got it back.
Your new car that you got?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, fuel line decided to go.
Oh.
Yeah, so got that fixed, and apparently the stress left my body because I didn't set an alarm or anything for this morning.
Oh.
I was kindly reminded, you're usually gone by now, aren't you?
Yeah. That's a shock to the system. Oh, my gosh, I'm late.
Yeah, I was.
So lots of things to talk about this week. Oh, my goodness. So the ticks are out. Had some ticks crawling on, actually, my wife and I were out hiking last Sunday and had a few ticks on us.
A couple of people mentioned that to me as well.
Yeah, it's warm enough, and so if you're out and about or even in the yard, make sure you watch. Make sure you don't have any of those ticks crawling on you.
Right. Check your animals.
And actually check your animals. I know one of our outside cats had some ticks on a few days ago, so they had to gently remove those. And, the other thing I noticed this last week, my maple trees in my yard are starting to look really green, but they're not leaves. They are so green with seeds, maple seeds. Unbelievable crop on them this year.
Oh.
And that's primarily, I think, because they were stressed from being thirsty most of the winter. Typically, they will set more seed, especially when they get really stressed for a long period of time, because even though trees don't have, plants don't have brains, they have that in their genes to, hey, if I'm not going to survive, I'm going to put some seed out there. Maybe my offspring will survive. And so if you recall back in 2012 when it was so hot and dry, some of the maple trees set their second crop of seeds like in August. So having that big, huge crop of seeds this year is because they were so stressed from being so dry all winter.
I did not know that.
And so we're going to have lots of those little helicopters flying down here soon.
Oh, yippee.
So my wife's comment was, oh, boy, we're going to have lots of gutter cleaning to do.
Yeah.
So we'll see a lot of that. I've been watching some of the other trees around, and you probably see some of that with some other plants that they will try to set a lot of seed just because they've been stressed, including evergreens trying to set more cone, develop more cones. Hopefully we keep staying in that moist condition. That drought monitor hasn't changed much in the last week, which is good. We got just enough rain to keep us okay right now.
Isn't the middle of the state still
in the middle of the state
yeah.
still extremely dry? And there's a little pocket just west of Saginaw Bay that is extremely dry, almost into the drought condition. And so we need to keep getting those rains. A little bit of rain we had this week is nice, so we do need some more.
Okay, this is definitely talking off the cuff. The drought conditions kind of, in a way, are similar to lake effect. Some have it, some don't.
True.
Yeah.
Well, and we are actually in this part of the state very dry overall historically. The southern band of counties in Michigan is actually the driest area east of Mississippi River, which sounds odd because we have Lake Michigan.
Really?
Lowest precipitation, and it's primarily because of Lake Michigan. Lake Michigan causes an inversion and splits the weather systems. So think of lake effect snow in the wintertime. It goes south of us, and from southern Kalamazoo County primarily, and then south of there, goes along sort of the Indiana Toll Road corridor, just a little bit south, hits South Bend. There's a pretty dry band, and then it comes up about the southern band of lake effect usually follows the I-94 corridor. It goes all the way east, past Battle Creek sometimes.
Yeah.
But in between those two are very, very dry, and actually it extends from about southeast corner of Van Buren County, mid-Cass County, all the way over to about Lenawee County. And but driest area east of the Mississippi as far as precipitation.
It's weird. My windshield wipers this last week would have argued with you, but
that rain was tremendously hard coming down. Oh my goodness!
But the outside of my car says "wash me," so yeah, it's.
Well, yeah, I know. My truck did that too. I was actually glad it rained pretty hard because it did wash some of that road dust off. Looked a little cleaner anyway afterwards.
There you go. You can join the fun here at 269-382-4280. And you'll need that number because right about this time-ish every Saturday morning, we give away a $20 gift card to Waddell's with a trivia question. If you answer it correctly, Gary will be more than
we're
happy
going to throw
to
this one
hand
out
you
there
over
because
one.
this might take a little bit of time for people unless they're really familiar with this family of birds.
You're making me work on a day I was late.
Well, you don't have to try to win, though.
Right,
You have to answer
yeah.
the phones.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
So the plover family has a unique behavior, and I'm primarily thinking about killdeer because killdeer are probably one of the most common ones because I want to talk about killdeer a little bit later on here. So what unique behavior that's typical of the plover family do killdeer exhibit when foraging for food? There's sort of a unique behavior that they do that not very many birds do. Some birds do something somewhat similar, but not many of them. So very, very unique behavior that they do.
269-382-4280, first correct caller with the correct answer will win a $20 gift card. My clock is on. I'm wondering how long it's going to take.
I'll make people really wake up this morning. Had a couple of softballs the last couple of weeks. So I thought I'd make them work today.
Okay. All right. Well, there you go. Your trivia question is out there. And Gary will talk about other things while we wait for a
So actually,
response.
I noticed something unique on Wednesday. I was off Wednesday, so I was out working in the yard, and there was a little bit of a breeze. I saw a dust devil, which is like a little mini whirlwind out in the field across from us that was going from east to west, which is unusual. Usually they go west to east.
I saw that when I was out and about this week.
Unusual.
I saw that.
It's unusual for them to be doing that.
Excuse me. Well, we had a lot of east winds
We do.
this last week.
But that's
And
not very common. You see the dust
Yeah.
devils or those little whirlwinds going east to west. Usually they're going, westerly to easterly.
And east to west winds usually means burr, yuck, nasty.
Yes.
Good morning, WKZO. Who is this?
This is Francis.
Francis, good morning. You want to take a shot at this, sir?
Sure. So, I think he might be talking about, I gotta get away from my radio.
Yeah, okay, yeah, there you go. Thank you.
So, when the killdeer have young or babies in a nest, they put them in, out in an open field, and they'll fly ahead and act like they're injured to distract the person or animal away from the nest.
Yeah, so that behavior as far as trying to get them away, but actually when they're looking for food and foraging, they do a different type of behavior. But and killdeer are actually very unique when they're on the nest because they're probably some of the best bird actors of doing the broken wing imitation.
Right.
Trying to lure people away
That's
from the
what
nest.
I thought you were like.
Yeah.
But when they're looking for
leading up
food,
to.
they actually have another different behavior that they do.
Oh, there you go. All right, Francis, hey, you can try again, 269-382-4280. Tough question. Why don't you fire it off one more time?
Yep. So in the plover family, which the killdeer are part of, and all the plovers do this to some extent, but killdeer you usually see observe it much more frequently. What unique behavior do they exhibit when they are foraging for food?
There you go.
They have a little pattern that they do, so it's actually quite unique. But if once you hear it or you're familiar with it, you'll say, "Oh yeah, I remember seeing them doing that."
There you go. 269-382-4280. First correct caller. I'll give you a gift card. This might take a while.
It might take a while. I got lots of other things to talk about anyway. So this last week, the DNR had a few emails. We got another caller.
You can hold on a moment
Okay.
because I want to give this thing away. Good morning, WKZO.
Hello,
Hello, who's this?
this is John.
John. What guest do you have for us?
My sources say that they have a foot trembling motion in the water.
Are the sources right?
Yeah, actually they do. That's part of their activity, and I will accept that as an answer because it is a little confusing. But that actually they do that sort of foot tremble. So what they do is actually run a few steps, and then they stop abruptly. And the probably really unique thing is they actually tilt their head. You'll see robins doing that in the yard too, but they'll tilt their head to look and listen for prey before seizing it with their bill.
Wow.
And then after eating, the bird quickly gets back on the move, looking for its next meal. But they do that sort of foot dance, and so yeah, sort of unique. If you're watching killdeer eating, and it's fun to watch them this time of year when they got the young because the young are unique as far as birds. Shortly after hatching, and they look like miniature versions of mom and dad, they're out running all over already.
Okay, so what song would go with that action?
I probably think of quite a few of them.
Oh, okay.
What were you thinking of?
I don't know. I've never seen it.
So actually, it's fun to watch them because they do that little sort of dance, and they stop and they tilt their head a little bit and try to listen for look for prey, and they usually get pretty lucky. Robins will do that to some extent, but killdeer do a very unique little action that they do.
Okay, there you go. Hey, John, you're a winner. You win a $20 gift. You win a $20 gift card to Waddell's. Can you hold on the line for just a moment?
Yes, I will.
Excellent. Need to get some information from you, and from you, I need you to sit back and enjoy this. Nature Watch continues next on WKZO.
Mother's Day is just a week away. It's easy to get mom the perfect gift at Waddell's Nursery Florist and Garden Center, where there are hundreds of great gift ideas to choose from, including artfully arranged flower bouquets and combination porch pots filled with colorful annuals. How about planting a memory with mom? Waddell's has flowering crabapple trees, lilac shrubs, rose bushes, and hydrangea shrubs. Or get mom a hanging basket or a porch pot full of flowers in her favorite colors. Waddell's also has dozens of hummingbird and oriole feeders. Wind chimes also make a great gift. Waddell's has dozens of styles in stock, including hand-tuned Corinthian bells. Maybe mom would like some new outdoor furniture, a gazing globe, a fountain, a bluebird house, or an azalea shrub. And if you just can't decide, a Waddell's gift certificate is always the right size and color. Happy Mother's Day from Waddell's Nursery Florist and Garden Center, located on Texas Drive at the corner of Millam and 12th Street, or online at waddells.com.
Local news is like the most important stuff to me.
You know what's going on in your local community.
Kalamazoo's official online local news source is WKZO.com.
846, John from Portage, our winner of a $20 gift card to Waddell's. Repeat the question and answer, because
what unique behavior that the plover family, especially killdeer, that they exhibit when they're foraging for food. So they do sort of they run a few steps, it's almost like a little dance, and then they stop abruptly and they tilt their head and look and listen for prey, and then they seize it, and then they go on. Some other birds will do some of that as far as tilting the head. You ever see robins, they'll do a little bit of that, but the plover family does just a little more uniqueness with their dance steps.
Oh, okay. There you go.
So fun to watch. The killdeer nest everywhere, and they nest on the ground, and their eggs, if you can find them, look like little rocks or pebbles. They're speckled. They very, very much hide in their nest because basically they clean out just a slight depression in the ground. They call it a scrape. Mom and Dad do that scrape, and then Mom lays the eggs and usually sits on them. And unless you see her because they're very brown, sometimes you don't even see her because she holds very still. But if you get too close, Dad will usually start with the broken wing, and if you keep moving forward, Mom will hop off the nest and try to do the broken wing imitation to try to lure prey or you away. Interestingly, when they have big animals, like those hoofed animals, if they're out in pastures or fields with horses or cattle, or even deer roaming there near the nest, they will actually puff up their feathers and actually charge towards those animals just to scare them away. Surprisingly, for a small bird that's a little bit bigger than robin size, but so they're actually fun to watch. They had the Emmy for doing that broken wing imitation. The killdeer would win every year. Fantastic to watch them. But when you're even in parking lots, we always have some that nest in at least one or two of the islands at Waddell's parking lot. So when you're pulling into parking lots, if you hear those killdeer, they have that sort of killdeer sound or killdee sound, usually crying quite a bit. They're quite noisy birds, and they actually one of their nicknames originally was Noisy Plover. So but watch for those birds because they are out in those parking lots, and as soon as the young are out, the young are running all over, usually following Mom and Dad. So watch for those little cute little birds crossing parking lots, or when you're out on a hike or anything.
Oh, okay. There you
go. But definitely in parking lots. A lot of times they will nest near humans. I know growing up on the farm, we always used to see them in the fields in the spring. And we've had, besides the parking lot at Waddell's, we've had them out in the nursery in the Bald and Burlap area. And if we see the nest, we usually try to corral it off if you can find it, and just to protect it so somebody doesn't step on the eggs by accident. So watch for those killdeer. They're fun to watch in the spring. And like I said, those little baby birds are miniature versions of Mom and Dad, and they're running all over. They're really cute.
Oh, there you go. 269-382-4280. Any questions for Gary, comments, etc.? Feel free. I'm getting hummingbird sightings galore on Facebook. It's going nuts.
I haven't seen any myself yet.
Oh, I have.
But not this year yet.
Okay.
But, well, maybe my house is a little bit slow coming to. I did see an Oriole for the first time on Wednesday.
I can confirm Schoolcraft had a hummingbird sighting. I can confirm that.
But I haven't seen any out yet that I've actually seen. But I know there's lots of sightings here in Michigan. Same thing with the Orioles, but Wednesday was the first time I'd seen the Oriole. So
okay.
And usually we get at least one pair of Orioles that nest in our yard, maybe sometimes two in the fields.
Someone had mentioned that on Facebook too, just in general passing, like, I haven't seen any Orioles this year. This is weird. So, well, people pay attention.
And the weather patterns have been unusual. So, actually, this
unusual, I consider them more like normal.
Well, the normal odd weather. Yeah, I guess you can do normal odd weather. Not average by any means.
Right.
So the migration maps, actually the forecast, here in Kalamazoo County, we're not going to have a great migration in the next 3 nights, tonight, next few nights. Pretty low. But overall, the country, tomorrow night, Sunday night, and Monday, we got some huge migration predictions. Tomorrow night, they're predicting 366 million birds migrating in the continental 48.
It's amazing how
and they do that based on more than 23 years of data. They estimate based on radar, because they actually can pick up those big flocks of birds and even smaller flocks on radar. They have various radar stations that they sort of track they know where these birds are, because they know it's not a weather system. And with the research that they've done, they're usually pretty close on those. But right now, the next 3 nights here in Kalamazoo County, not a big migration coming over. We'll have some here. We're getting near the peak. Usually this next week, about 5th or 6th is usually the peak. There's a lot of birds heading this way, though. Looking at the maps, south and a little southwest of us here, there's a lot of birds on the move. But that Mississippi flyway, there's a lot of activity the next couple of nights. And talking about nights, tonight, the Kalamazoo Astronomical Society is having another one of their public viewing sessions at the Nature Center. If it's not too cloudy, now looking at the forecast, I think it's going to be too cloudy. So check their website out usually after 6 p.m. Just to make sure that they are still on, because they're doing that from 9 p.m. to midnight. And if it's too cloudy, they will cancel. Their highlights are the moon and spring star clusters.
Okay. Well, if they do cancel, you can stay up and listen to the Tigers game.
Yes.
Because they start at 9:10 tonight.
I think you listen to the Tigers game when you're looking at out there. Just don't have any bright lights and put some earbuds in or so. But it's nice hearing some of the night sounds too. We're warm enough now, so we're hearing some of those night sounds, and maybe hear some of that. I haven't heard too much of it yet, but it's getting close. We'll hear some of that little buzzing and the little mosquitoes flying around. Not that you really want to listen to that.
I was enjoying this conversation until you brought that up. Thank you.
Nature, you got the good and the bad. There's a room for everything. The power outage last Saturday. Remember the power outage?
Oh, do I ever?
So did you hear what caused it?
Yeah,
It was a bird's nest.
Yeah.
It was a bird's nest. So I saw that and I was like, I got to talk about that a little bit. So birds will nest just about anywhere and everywhere that they can. And right now, and especially in the Portage area, remember about a year ago we had this nasty tornado that came through, so they've lost a lot of trees.
Mm-hmm.
And so they're finding other places that they typically don't nest, and they're nesting on them. And so that's part of what you're going to see. Probably have some more issues of that here in the next few months, just with having nests where they're not supposed to be.
Lovely.
And on top of that,
I don't blame them.
On top of that, Andy actually took a video at his house this week, and they had to take a spruce tree down in their yard a little while ago, and I'm not sure if the wind took it down or a combination of damage, and they had to take it down. And so the birds lost a lot of habitat in his yard, even though he's got lots of other trees. That one big evergreen, a lot of birds use that tree, including a lot of robins. And he took some videos. The robins are not too happy because they've been attacking all his windows on the house, on his truck. And he said, I think they're trying to get back at me for removing the spruce tree. But I said, actually, no, they're seeing their reflection. Birds are very territorial this time of year. And cardinals and robins are notorious for doing that. And they're territorial. They see a competitor in the reflection of the window, and they attack it. over and over again. And sometimes it's sort of survival of the fittest. Andy's robins, the robins are there, they've been so aggressive that they've been basically killing themselves hitting the windows, which is very sad. I know that I had about 25 years ago, I had a cardinal that would do that on my rearview mirrors on my truck windows, and then it would go to one of my barns, the shop windows, and go from window to window. And there were bloody marks on every one of those surfaces because the cardinal kept attacking that, what he thought was a competitor. He saw his reflection. Actually, they did that for several years. The same cardinal, or I'm assuming it was the same cardinal because at the same time, and they usually nest sort of in the same area.
I could fight myself and still lose.
Yes. So what you can do is just try to use the same tools that you use for trying to prevent those birds from hitting your windows in the wintertime and flying from the feeders when the hawk shows up. Put some of those clings. Those window clings work fantastic. You can actually see through them. They're pretty opaque. We've got different designs at Waddell's. Actually, some really neat ones. I had to put some more on our big picture window this winter because had some birds hitting that. But that should help as far as maybe cutting down on reflection. I saw some other articles in the Audubon Society. They actually suggested even taking newspaper or something else to prevent some of that glare and that maybe they won't see the reflection temporarily till they get their nest built and move on. Usually it's just a few weeks or so at the most that they do that. It's this time of year.
Okay. Well, there you go.
So now, if you're getting that activity, the Audubon Society had several suggestions for treating that, just to prevent them from trying to hit those windows. The couple other events, actually, the people out probably walking right now at the Wolf Lake Fish Hatchery. Today was a beginning birders walk, the first Saturday of the month, so neat thing coming up with that. Next Saturday is World Migratory Bird Day, and the theme this year is Shared Spaces, Creating Bird-Friendly Cities and Communities. So more than half of the world's population currently lives in cities, a figure projected to double the next 25 years. As communities expand, migratory birds have faced growing challenges. So there's some steps we can do. Plant native plants as much as you can. Dim lights at night. Make your windows visible. So use those clings so the birds don't hit those at night or during the day. Protect insects. So try to protect insects as much as possible. 95% of birds depend on insects at some time during their life cycle. Restrain your pets. So if you have your pets, there's a lot of birds lost to those cats especially. And take some precautions. So next Saturday, there's actually a Migratory Bird Day celebration sponsored by the Audubon Society Kalamazoo and Kazoo Parks. It's a free event at Upjohn Park. You can go to their website, kazooparks.org, and find all the info on that. They have a lot of neat activities. Stop out at Waddell's. We always have all sorts of your bird feeding supplies that you need. Get those feeders out if you haven't gotten them out yet for the orioles and the hummingbirds. They are out here. And keep feeding those other feeders fed because birds are trying to concentrate on building their nests and really need that extra energy, or the migratory birds going through. There's lots of warblers going through. So there's actually coming up in May, there's a neat event called a Warbler-nar. It's a webinar about warblers. Oh. And that's going to be a Zoom link. It's on May 20th. It's a Tuesday, and you can actually link and then get a recording later on.
Oh, okay.
So it's actually put on by the American Bird Conservancy.
There you go. You know what? If a mosquito lands on me, I'm not saving it for a bird. I'm just saying. Whack!
Well, you can eat them. There's a little bit of protein in those insects. Saying.
I'm good. Thank you. I'm good. Gary, thank you. Appreciate it.
Like I said, lots to talk about. We'll this time of year, so many different activities, so many changes, so it's fun to get outside.
And next Saturday, he'll have more. And thank you for listening to this edition of Nature Watch. Tune in each Saturday morning at 8:30 for Nature Watch, brought to you by Waddell's Nursery, Floral Garden, and Bird Center at the corner of 12th Street and Millam Road. CBS and local news is up next, and then Over the Garden Fence here on WKZO.